What's happening, everybody? It is Ask Jesse Answer time. Real quick announcement before we get to today's question. There are still tickets available for Unlock Your Greatness. I've gotten a couple emails this last week, so I just want to remind you all there's still tickets, which means do not delay, get your ticket. That way you can plan your travel, you can have it at ease, and you can be sure to join us in Santa Barbara in October. It's going to be two amazing, life-changing days where we're going to be delving into how to communicate more effectively, teaching you how to let go of some of the emotional baggage that's followed you around, being able to get a greater clarity and understanding about why people do what they do so that you know exactly how to handle your situations with your loved ones, with your coworkers to foster a more loving, supportive, and forward progressing atmosphere. If you have questions about Unlock Your Greatness, email me, leave them below. But I hope you join us in October. And on to today's question. We only had one today. So for those of you who have a question for me for the Ask Jesse section, remember, I put this post up every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific time, and then I'm going to respond to it on Mondays around this time. I know Facebook's making it harder and harder to see content, so if you want to make sure you see everything from the 1,000 Challenge page, you have to like, you have to follow, you have to click want to see first, and then it'll let you choose what kind of updates you get from the page, so just make sure you're doing that. So today's question comes to us from Faith Lines, and Faith asks, what are some tips on getting rid of stinking thinking? How come it keeps coming back when I feel it has been resolved, but to no end, it keeps thriving inside of my head and breaks me down to the point of me feeling alone and out of control and our options? What am I missing? Great question, Faith, and I would say the first thing is that if you think it's been resolved and it's coming back, that probably means it hasn't been resolved, which means there's something else or something deeper, or it might have evolved a little bit that you haven't quite gotten to. See, the thing with stinking thinking is sometimes we try to address it with, and I don't know what the specifics are for you, but we try to address the thoughts that go in our head, the negative thoughts, with more positive thinking, right? Just be positive and it'll be okay. Just be positive and it'll be okay. That helps to an extent, but unless we're getting at the root and what's causing it to begin with, all the positivity in the world is not going to eliminate it. We got to eliminate it. We have to get to a root. Again, imagine some of these thoughts in your mind as plants in your garden, right? You can plant flowers, you can grow weeds. Well, a weed's going to grow, and if you go chop the top of the weed off, the root's still there. And if you keep chopping the top of the weed off, which is kind of what positive thinking is, you keep trying to positively make it go away, the root still grows. And what happens is the root comes back, and you might be out there and enjoying your garden and think nothing's there, but the root comes back and it brings friends with it, or the weed rather. And the weed grows and it thrives and it keeps growing, and then you chop off the weed and you chop off the cousins of the weed that it brought with it, but it's still growing because the root's always there. So until we eliminate the root of what's causing something to begin with, we'll still have things come up. Another thing to think about with this is you want to make sure you get really specific on it, because the thought process is not what derails you or sets you back, it's you, right? If it's you giving power, it's you giving power to that voice. I really believe that a lot of those negative voices that we hear that pop up in our head are not there to put us down or belittle us, but they're really there to remind us to dig in on something and saying, hey, there's a root of something deeper here that you need to work on. And if you work on that, you'll be able to live the life that you've always wanted to live. Okay? That's what we have for this week. I hope you found value in this. Again, if you're coming to Unlock Your Greatness, make sure you get your ticket. I'll see you in Santa Barbara in October. Look forward to answering your Ask Jesse questions next week. As a reminder, the post goes up on Friday around 8 a.m. Pacific time, and I'll be answering them at this time. Take care, everybody, and have an amazing week. Bye-bye.